Hey there, this is John Gallagher from Raven. You are watching CMS TV. Turn it up.
I'm imagining when you started early on, you had a lot of people in your ear trying to change what you were going to do, trying to tell you needed to write shorter songs or you needed to write something that could end up on radio or, those types of things. When did that stop?
There was the part where that happened probably most, the period was probably around the MTV, the early MTV days when videos were everything. Everyone was spending thousands and thousands of dollars on videos, and then you had to get the hit song that would get on the video on MTV and then therefore the radio. So I mean, yeah, there was that period. It kind of died when kind of MTV sort of did in a way. It sort of went away when, and obviously the internet changed everything anyway. So that totally changed. I think the internet just changed everything, I guess. So it went away around that time, whenever that was. But I mean, we stopped attempting to write singles decades ago because it was kind of interfering with all the other songs. We just wanted to write albums and then let other people choose which they think should be represented, or the singles, whatever. We kind of got out of that frame of mind a long time ago because it's just not productive for writing an album. We want to write albums and then let other people decide the singles. But yeah, I mean, it was. We haven't had much interference in our career at all, generally with our output. But like you said, around the MTV years, there was a lot of this. Well, you need a hit, and all this. There was a bit of that, sure.
Chris Akin Presents. I, of course, am Chris Akin, and today on the show, we are about to bring in some misery for you folks. Paradise Lost is back. They have a brand new release called Ascension. It is out by the time you are seeing this, and here to talk all about it is the master of misery himself, Mr. Nick Holmes. Nick, how are you, man?
I'm all right. Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you. Yes. What an introduction.
Well, it's true with you guys, man. I mean, I don't think anybody goes into listening to a Paradise Lost record looking to be uplifted, do they?
No, definitely not. No. Yeah. It's it's all good. It's all good. We love the misery. It's all
right.
Good.
Definitely. Well, man, you in the press anyway have said that people could expect even more misery to be brought than past records. And I'm gonna be honest, when I read that, I didn't believe it. And then when I listened to the disc or to the music, I was like, woo, boy, there's some stuff going on here. So talk a little bit about that, man. Was there something going on that just had you even more in that place than ever, or is this just the way it developed?
It's just the way it developed. I mean, we had 5 years since the last album, and we like that. It's just the type of music we like to listen to. We are fans of this kind of music. I mean, that we kind of try and outdo ourselves, out misery ourselves every time. I mean, we find that this kind of music uplifting. As opposed to happy music, which makes us feel genuinely depressed, which is a completely different feeling. So, but yeah, it's each album we do is pretty much represents where we are at that time and what we're into, and this album is no exception, really.
Sure. When you guys are writing music, Nick, do you ever do you or anybody in the band ever go, nah, that's not dark enough? Like you have something you're like, that riff's a little too up, or that's, do you ever have that?
Constantly. Yeah. It's that's one of the most common things. It sounds too, that's a regular feature in our writing process for sure, definitely.
Right on, man. Well, man, let's dig into Ascension, man. Obviously the album title itself is a powerful statement about striving for a better place, knowing basically that the only reward you're going to get is to die. I mean, it's pretty dark. Where does this theme come from? And really, where do all the themes come from? I mean, are you outside of just writing music, are you a big reader, or do you watch a lot of movies to kind of help you develop ideas, or what?
I watch a lot of movies, I do. But I mean, I don't read as much as I would like, but I do. I mean, it's for me, it's about I kind of write. I just write about my, my observations on life, my observations on what makes people tick, what they like, what they don't like, why they have such good luck, why they have such bad luck, um, human nature, how people deal with situations, positive situations, negative situations, how they deal with death, births, marriages, divorces, all these things. I write. They kind of go in the melting pot, and I just kind of write down not necessarily full songs about specific subjects. I can write a paragraph or a verse about one thing, slightly tweak on the second line. So but I mean, it's always for me, songs are always about just sentences that kind of like the sound of the sentences. I like the sound of the words. I like very strong song titles, very negative song titles. I find I enjoy. So it's just basically the kind of stuff I like to read, as is the music, I guess. So it's all kind of comes together for the whole ensemble, I guess.
Sure. This episode of the CMS Network is brought to you by our sponsor, Blackout Coffee. If you are a coffee lover, you will love what they are selling over at Blackout Coffee. Make sure you get yourself some. The only thing woke about this company is the drinker of the coffee, because it gives you quite a jolt. I am a personal fan of the Brutal Awakening Dark Roast, but everybody's a little bit different. Make sure you get what is your favorite today. Go to blackoutcoffee.com. Use the promo code CHRIA20 to save 20% on your first order. It's that simple. So one more time, blackoutcoffee.com. That is the link, or use the full link if you're going to shop around. That is scrolling on the bottom, and get yourself some of the best coffee that is out there today. blackoutcoffee.com. Now, how did it come together this time? Do you, and really probably every time, but certainly for Ascension, do you write to a riff, or are you constantly writing lyrics and then looking for music to fit them to?
No, I always write to the music. I never separate the two. I've kind of toyed with that idea of just writing to see how it comes up, but I like to write to music because it's how it makes me feel, and how certain words sound in certain parts of the songs, and etc. So I wrote all the lyrics at the end of the writing process, as opposed to usually I write them as we go along. But I wrote everything at the end, which was kind of stressful because we didn't have a massive amount of time. But in a way, the lyrics are better for it because I could just concentrate on that aspect and not have to concentrate on writing melody lines, etc. So it was kind of good to specifically work on that, and I think the lyrics are better as a result. But it was quite stressful because it was right at the end. We were kind of in the studio like 2 weeks later or something. So it was like, I always like to write to the music. It puts me in that place where I want to be, and it kind of gets me into the vibe for writing. Because when I stop writing lyrics, I don't look at them again until whenever I start writing again. I kind of don't leave my lyrics. I turn it off and turn it back on.
Okay, wow. You're one of the few that does that. Almost every musician I ever speak to, whether they're a guitar player or a singer or whatnot, they always tell me about how their phone is loaded with ideas, that there's 4,000 ideas.
I do have ideas, but I don't actually write anything. I mean, song titles. I've got hundreds of song titles on my phone for sure. And then if I hear a sentence, think, that'll make a nice. There's snippets, but it's not really like I'm kind of, all right, I'm going to go and write a verse. I don't work like that. I'll go, okay, next time it's on my phone. Okay, let's see what I can do with that. So there's a time and a place for it. I kind of don't live in the lyrics 24 hours in that respect.
Right, certainly. Well, man, let's talk about a few of the tracks on the record. I'll start with the opening track, Serpent on the Cross. Starts with a doomy riff, and then it's... For you guys, I don't want to say you've never done this before, but this is surprisingly classic metal to me a little bit. I was a little surprised how Metallica-y it was. Talk a little bit about this song and how it came together.
Yeah, I mean, it was. I think we wrote this song quite later on in the recording, but it wasn't actually originally going to open the album. But we felt that it's such a. Well, as soon as it starts, it's kind of obviously sounds like Paradise Lost, very much so. It's like a very traditional Paradise Lost sound. As soon as you hear it, it's kind of, I think it really represents everything about the band, which is very much about Greg's weeping guitar sound. I mean, he's always had that sound. It's his style, and it's very much the sound of the band. and this is a good showcase for it, I think, for a first song. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely got classic metal marks. A lot of the songs have with the abs, etc. You know, the kind of classic 80s kind of hallmarks. There's definitely, but everything you hear is done on purpose for sure. You know, there's nothing done by accident. So it's, but yeah, like I said, it's a very sort of, you know, up tempo kind of very PL song, I think, you know.
Sure, definitely. And then another one I wanted to ask you about, which certainly fits the world today, would be Silence Like the Grave. Obviously, it talks about, you know, how pointless war is. Talk a little bit about this one, and talk about, for you, how much reality do you put in versus kind of keeping it a little bit abstract so people can form their own opinion on what you're trying to say?
Hello.
I'm here.
Yeah, I don't know what happened then. The screen went blank.
Hmm.
I don't know.
I'll ask the question again.
Sorry, I didn't get it because he just kind of went completely off. I don't know why, but yeah.
No problem. Well, the question I was asking you was about the song "Silence Like the Grave." You know, it obviously talks about the pointlessness of war. Where is that line for you between making any sort of a hard political statement versus writing material that means something but is abstract enough that people still can put their own message to it?
I don't want to make any political statement at all, really. It's just about kind of knocking things down and rebuilding. It's like you knock and rebuild. It's kind of like the definition of insanity is keep doing the same thing and expecting a change. That phrase is pretty much what I based that song around. Expecting a different result from doing the same thing again and again. It's more about that. I mean, you could almost put war in that category because it doesn't really serve any purpose, I don't think. But yeah, when it comes to getting on soapboxes, I just don't do that. For me, music's about escapism. The lyrics are about life, which is real, I guess, but they're written in, hopefully, a more kind of poetic manner than just kind of writing things in black and white. You can see that as soon as you switch on your phone every day. So I'm not really interested in that aspect.
Right on, man. Well, dude, obviously, man, you have this new album, Ascension, and, you know, for any metal band, Paradise Lost included, when you have a new record, there's always people looking to hear it live. What does touring look like for you guys for, I guess, the rest of this year and next year? And do you anticipate, you know, the festivals and all the stuff that most people do in 2026?
Yeah, we've got a European tour starting October. I guess that'll see us through till the end of the year. Then next year, we're going to be hopefully coming up to the States again and doing a bit more work over there. Hopefully more you know, East and West Coast, more of that rather than just East Coast. Last time was just East Coast. Hope we can do some more shows West Coast as well. Yeah, again, you know, we just want to spend more time in the States. Hopefully next year. Then we're doing a second leg of European tour, and I guess that will lead us up into the summer festivals, largely European summer festivals. But we'll play wherever anybody wants us. We will show up.
Right on. Now, Nick, I got to ask you, man, I got a couple questions just kind of more historical about you guys. First thing that is very obvious to me, you guys have been able to keep basically the lineup together. Other than the drummers, you have kept the lineup together for the entire length of the band, which that never happens for a band that's 35 years old. What has been the secret, especially in a band that didn't go the Metallica money route, that, you know, where your pockets were getting jammed with cash? I mean, what has kept you guys? I'll put it this way, and you know this, Nick. Everybody and their brother that's in a band fights with their bandmates at some point, and usually it leads to somebody leaving. 4 of you guys since 1988. That's amazing.
I think it's a couple of things. I think we started the band for very humble reasons. We were all fans of this type of music, and we still are. Our music tastes are still very similar. We still like the same kind of music, really, more or less. You know, a few people like other things, but generally speaking. The second thing is we're all Yorkshiremen. We all come from Yorkshire in the UK, and we all have a very similar sense of humour. Sense of humour is absolutely paramount in everything, I think. Ironically, the music's nothing like that, but certainly, you know, we do like to have a laugh. We have very similar sense of humour. And thirdly, I think we turned professional as a band very young. So we kind of close the doors on any other occupation. So this is what we do, and that's kind of keeps us together as well, I think. So it's a combination of those three has seen us through the last 37 years, I guess.
Right. I mean, it's an amazing run, to say the least.
Yeah, it's a long time.
Hey, pinball wizards and arcade aficionados. Ready for a trip down memory lane, or maybe just a blast into the now? Welcome to Pinball PA, where we've got more than just games. We've got a time machine. With over 420 games, that's 200 plus pinball machines and another 200 plus arcade games, stretching all the way from the 1940s to the latest and greatest. Whether you're here for nostalgia or novelty, we've got you covered. And guess what? No quarters, no tokens. Just pay the admission fee and it's all you can play. Perfect for birthday parties, team building events, or those special educational STEM and STEAM field trips. Need a spot for some spontaneous fun? No reservations are needed. Just come on down to the Hopewell Shopping Center at 2284 Broadhead Road, Suite 10B in Aliquippa, Pennsylvania. For more information, check out our site at www.pinballpa.com or give us a ring at 412-423-8532. Pinball PA, where every play is a free play.
And I'm guessing at this, and you can just tell me I'm straight up wrong, and that's fine. But I'm imagining when you started early on, you had a lot of people in your ear trying to change what you were going to do, trying to tell you needed to write shorter songs, or you needed to write something that could end up on radio, or, those types of things. When did that stop?
There was the part where that happened probably most, the period was probably around the MTV day, the early MTV days when videos were everything. Everyone was spending thousands and thousands of dollars on videos, and then you had to get the hit song that would get on the video on MTV and then therefore the radio. So I mean, yeah, there was that period. It kind of died when kind of MTV sort of did in a way. It sort of went away when, and obviously the internet changed everything anyway. So that totally changed. I think the internet just changed everything, I guess. So it went away around that time, whenever that was. But I mean, we stopped attempting to write singles decades ago because it was kind of interfering with all the other songs. We just wanted to write albums and then let other people choose which they think should be represented, or the singles or whatever. We kind of got out of that frame of mind a long time ago because it's just not productive for writing an album. We want to write albums and then let other people decide the singles. But yeah, I mean, it was. We haven't had much interference in our career at all, generally with our output. But like you said, around the MTV years, there was a lot of this. Well, you need a hit, and all this. There was a bit of that, sure.
Sure, no question. So obviously, man, and we'll wrap up. Obviously, you have the new record, Ascension. You're going to be out on tour. How much? And I ask everybody this: how much material is left over? Is there, because I'm assuming you write a ton of music to come up with an album that flows. That I don't assume in this you could write 9 songs and they all fit. I assume you write 15 songs and you find 9 that fit. There's probably about 14 songs that were written, and there's about 10,000 pieces of music and 10,000 words that weren't used. Because they all end up on the cutting room floor. They're not, they kind of get chopped up so much that it's not like a full song. A lot of bands write massive amount of songs, but we've never really done that. We've just crafted parts into one song, and the parts are still there. So right. We've got files on my computer with thousands and thousands of riffs and thousands of drum parts, blah blah blah. So yeah, but we've never been one for writing dozens of songs and picking them out. I sometimes wish we could be like that, but it just isn't how we work. Sure. What is the oldest part that ever ended up in a song? Did you ever pull something that was like 20 years old, or?
Yeah, the last album. I wish I'd known this question. No, there was a riff off the last time, and I think Greg and I went, hang on a minute, is that from so and so? And he just kind of laughed. I says, wow, we hadn't been playing for, like you say, probably decades.
Right.
And I says, I can't believe you remembered that. You know what I mean? It's something that we didn't use, I don't know, maybe the fourth album or something. So yeah, that does happen, for sure.
Right on. Well, you've given us new stuff now, man. Obviously, Ascension is the new release. It is Paradise Lost. It is a misery mover, to say the least. It is fantastic, though. If you like this kind of doomy metal, this is the elite of it, to say the least. Great record. Nick, we tell everybody here not just to stream everything. It's fine if they listen to it, but we tell them buy something. Where is the best place we could send people to buy a shirt, buy a hat, buy a disc, vinyl, whatever?
The Paradise Lost web store. I mean, you should look up those words, and that'll lead you in the right direction, I guess. For now, that's off the top of my head. Paradise Lost web store, yeah.
Right, and come to a gig and buy it there, right?
Absolutely, yeah. We got it there as well.
Very good. Well, one more time, it is Paradise Lost. The album is Ascension. It is out right now if you are watching this. And Nick, this has been fun. Thanks for joining me here on Chris Akin Presents.
Cheers, mate. All the best. Thanks for the support. Appreciate it. Thank you.